So NXT No Mercy dropped yesterday. I was at SAC Anime with the family. I was cosplaying as John Cena. I showed you guys a picture here at the channel in one of them post things. So I was tired, but I just watched No Mercy. And a lot of you dropped your hot takes when I asked for them. So might as well go ahead and respond to them. You guys had a lot of different thoughts about it. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Money13 says, I'm tired of every commentator saying the rumors are true whenever somebody debuts. In this case, it's especially stupid because Giulia was shown on screen at Stand and Deliver. Yeah, I agree with that. I was kind of confused when Giulia showed up and then Vic Joseph said, the rumors are true. She looked great. Don't get me wrong. I'm really excited for Giulia being in NXT. I think it's awesome. It's a great addition. It's huge. But yeah, she was already in the crowd. We know what that means when they're in the crowd. That generally means they're with the company now. So we don't like, what rumors are you talking about? What are these rumors? She was in the crowd. That's not a rumor. Oh, that's a sighting. Left Lock says Rox should have main evented. That Giulia debut is a perfect show closer. Yeah, I agree with that too. There's a bug right here. I think that Giulia's arrival there in NXT, like the official arrival, not sitting in the crowd, was kind of a big deal. And Roxanne versus Jada Parker, giving Jada Parker her first premium live event, main event. I thought that'd have been pretty cool too. But people love Joe Hendry. He's kind of the main star of NXT right now. I have no doubt that Trick Williams is going to become that, certainly by the debut of the NXT on the CW. I don't know if how long Joe Hendry is going to be sticking around NXT. I mean, he seemed to have, look, he just main evented a premium live event. I kind of feel like he probably just should go back to TNA and let Trick Williams give him his spot at the top back. So, yeah, I love Joe Hendry, though. Everybody loves Joe Hendry. I feel like they're going to do what they can to keep him around, though. Jason, the PPW sound guy, says Obafemi is the future of the business. The man is already amazing despite having only like 60 matches. Yeah, he's got everything. That dude has got everything. And I feel like he's probably going to be the first one that gets called up to main roster in like a major way. In like, you know, Carmelo Hayes, that was a pretty big deal when he got drafted, like the first dude get drafted to SmackDown in the draft. But I think Obafemi is going to be like first pick overall guy, debuting, maybe winning a championship in his debut, something along those lines, something in a major way, because this guy's got WrestleMania main eventer written all over him. It's a crowded field. But if done right, this guy could be that next level. Exploders says, hot take, instead of the ending we got in the main event, it should have been Trick turning heel and costing Joe Hendry the match because as the face of NXT, he can't allow the title to go to TNA. All right, I really like the logic there. I don't think that they can turn Trick heel, especially now. I still think my prediction ages ago that he would main event the first episode of NXT on the CW and win the title back from Ethan Page. I still think that's the way to go. He's about to get this win against Pete Dunne. I don't know. I think it's October that they debut on the CW, I think. So it's like next month now, basically. So yeah, I still think that's going to happen. In which case, Joe has to go. because Joe Hendry just sort of soaks up all the spotlight. I don't know, something about the guy. You're too good, Joe. Jay Reddits 12 says, I know absolutely nothing about Giulia, but she has presence and is going to be a star. That is like just a freezing cold take. We know that. Come on. No, she looks like $1 million. It's great. Claus Techno says, Ethan Page really improved since he escaped from AEW. Thank you, Claus. Thank you for the thumbnail for this episode, because whenever people talk about somebody who is in AEW and they're in WWE now, it always does numbers. So thank you for that. That is going to be the thumbnail of this episode. I mean, has he improved? I think he's always been this good. I think he's always been this way. It's just, you know, AEW, they had him. They did not make the most of Ethan Page. I remember when he first showed up in AEW, it was like, oh, this is really cool. We got Ethan Page over here now. And then like, boy, they tried to do a couple things, him and that tag team of Scorpio Sky, but they had Dan Lambert talking for them. And I was like, why do they need Dan Lambert here? And then he was just gone in Ring of Honor for a spell until he was gone from AEW. So, yeah, no, I think he's great. I just think that NXT obviously is using him to his fullest potential. RLab says Jada Parker should have been the one to win the North American title as a heel and have the plethora of faces go after her in this premium live event. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I kind of feel like she's more interesting of a character and kind of more of a realized character than what we got in Kalani Jordan, who is a terrific wrestler and she's learning in leaps and bounds. Don't get me wrong, but Jada Parker just has that thing. She's got that it factor. You could see it across every aspect of her game. I could totally see her taking that. I think the North American title is going to end for the women's division is going to end up being sort of the non Julia, the non Stephanie Vaquer. If they pick up Jordan Grace, maybe, although she should go to main roster whenever her contract in TNA ends. I don't know when that is, but I would not be shocked to see Jordan Grace go to WWE. But if they really try to build up NXT with top level free agent names like that, then I feel like that heavyweight championship, or the NXT women's title, I should say, is going to be for those names, the names who have already established themselves in a major way outside of WWE, whereas the North American title is going to be the stepping stone to get there from the names that are the next in line, you know, the college recruits that they brought in and they built from the ground up. And I think that'd be perfect for Jada Parker to take that title off Kalani Jordan, and I could totally see that happening. I'm just trying to do something, says Nathan Frasier and Axum might be the best tag team out right now. I'll be honest, I kind of agree with this. I think that they're really, I'd probably put them top 5, maybe even outside of WWE. There's some good tag teams out there. But like, they are really good. They're insanely fast. They've got great chemistry. They're crazy athletic, and they got personality. In terms of being like in ring, man, it's like the situation I'd love to see them against like other just really, really, really good tag teams. Unfortunately, in WWE, tag team wrestling really isn't a priority, and I'd love for them to change that, to make it a priority, because right now you got what? Judgment Day has the tag titles, and Sammy and Jay are probably going to take them off there, and that's just going to service either the Bloodline storyline across brands, or it's going to service the Judgment Day storyline. In any event, they're not like a real tag team. And then over there on SmackDown, you've got the Bloodline with the tag teams, and they can't even really figure out who the actual tag team champions are. I guess it's Guerrillas of Destiny, but up until last week, Jacob Fatu was in there as well. So yeah, I don't know. And that's just to service the Bloodline storyline. I don't think those titles are going to go anywhere. And so it's just going to be tag team after tag team challenging them. Bloodline rules match. And then, the Bloodline holds on to them. If Nathan Frasier and Axum ends up going to main roster, what happens then? Like, are they going to rejuvenate the tag team? I don't think they're going up for a little while anyways, probably not till after WrestleMania. But hopefully we get like an actual shot in the arm of the tag team division across all of WWE, because they really don't use it well. But then again, neither does AEW. So who knows? Honto John says, should have put the belt on Joe Hendry since the CW move is coming and he brings in the ratings. Yeah, but he's not signed with the company. Although that doesn't seem to matter. How crazy is it that Wesley? I haven't gotten to any Wesley. What's his face? Oh, here's another one. James Ullum says, not a hot take, but Wentz and Lee was the show stealer, and Wentz has maybe the best finisher I've ever seen. It is really, really cool. It is a really cool finish. And yeah, that match was phenomenal. It was awesome. I figured it would be, and it lived up to my expectations. Brittany Brody says, this is awesome, is overplayed out and annoying. Every single match on every single wrestling show has had that chant for a while, and it makes the chant not feel special anymore. I don't mind the this is awesome chant. I feel like the wrestlers are happy to hear it. It validates all the hard work they're putting in. I'm okay with that one. We want tables is overdone. We don't need tables in every match. Even if it's a no DQ or hardcore match, you don't need tables in every match. So stop chanting that. Obviously, the what chant, though, is the number one worst chant there is. Also, I remember an interview, I think it was on Straight to Hell with Cultaholic, where Will Ospreay said that he doesn't like the fight forever chants. Because he's like, man, at that point, we've already given like almost everything we have, and you want us to keep on fighting? That's kind of messed up. That's a messed up expectation people have. I don't mind that chant so much, but I understand his point. Survivor 93 says Ridge Holland's heel turn felt kind of flat. I like that he kept on looking at his hands. It was like, oh, look what I do with my hands. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fine. It was sad. It makes sense for him. He looks like a big bad guy. I didn't like soft, friendly Ridge Holland who kept on looking at Thea Hill and being like, you remind me of my daughter. I don't need to see that. Give me a big, mean monster. That's what we need more of. I mean, look, that dude will be a great opponent for Obafemi. Those two big, meaty dudes going at it in the wrestling ring, fighting each other. That's what I meant. That'd be cool. We're going to end on this one. It's Jesse says, this era of NXT is leagues better than Black and Gold and also has a way higher ceiling. So I disagree with the first part, but I actually agree with the second part. I do think that this version of NXT does have a higher ceiling than Black and Gold NXT. I would not yet consider it heads and tails above the Black and Gold, though. If you remember, those old takeovers were absolutely phenomenal. NXT at its peak was really something else. I'm a huge fan of those days. That being said, I understand that Vince didn't like that NXT failed against AEW in the ratings and wanted to stick it to Triple H, is my understanding of the situation. Prove me wrong if you can. But yeah, I like NXT, what they're doing right now. My hope is when they get to the CW and they do those arena shows, maybe it'll make them realize, hey, we should do more tours out in smaller arenas as opposed to that stupid Performance Center. I can't stand the Performance Center. I think it's an awful venue. It just looks like shit. It looks so small and tacky. And I know Full Sail was tiny also, but for some reason it was just cool because it was basically in a black hole. It was just nothing but darkness in that place and fans. But yeah, all the bright lights and the creamsicle color, not really into it. Anyways, that's going to do it for Hot Takes for NXT. Thanks everybody for submitting yours. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, notify bell. You always get notified. I've been doing a lot of posts lately. I'm done. I'm kind of done with the Twitter stuff, right? I'm kind of done with that because it's just kind of a cesspool at this point. So I'm turning to the YouTube channel, to Wrestle Juice, to do my posting there. So be sure to hit the subscribe button, notify bell, so then you always get notified. You're like, hey, I want to take a look at Steve's cushy office chair because yeah, I'm filming this on a WWE chair. But like my normal chair, this is just so you can see more of the backdrop. You don't want like this covered up with chair. Look at that. I mean, you're not going to be able to see the Roman title. You got to see the Roman title.